Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Govinda, Govinda. Well done, everybody, for keeping the back to basic going last time. We were in an emergency. Emergency means good emergency, but needed to do things. And so Yash Krishna is here with us. He's a witness to our necessity. So Yash, good morning. In Mauritius, it's 6:01 a.m. In South Africa, in South Africa, it's 4:01 a.m. All right, dear devotees, let us begin with our mini invocation, and then we'll meet up with more and more as you devotees join together. But I am inclined first to give my obeisances to everyone, to Kumukum Didi, to you there at the farm, to Mayeshwari Devi Rasi. Seva Rupa, she's here 4 a.m., you see. She's regularly on back to basics. It's 4 a.m. in South Africa. And Rupa Nugapu in China, I heard last time. So this is who's with us here on Zoom and on Facebook, dear devotees. I know that you're there, and in the recorded version on both Zoom and Facebook, then we know you're there, and we're happy to know you're present and happy to acknowledge your silence, as well as those who are not silent, that we know who are there happily. So, dear devotees on Facebook, on Zoom, and in the recorded, first inclination is to give our obeisances. We've come together with the Vaishnavas, and now let us chant our Vandeham. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tang Sajivam Sarvetam Savadutam Harijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Saha Gana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitangs Cha. Okay, doing more. Too many things at the same time. All right, let us be focused. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Anmelitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratuje Namaha. And Vancha Kalpatarubhyas Cha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So, dear devotees, if you hear a sound in the background, it's the fan. I can't turn it off. I haven't understood how to turn it off. So please excuse the fan. And I've tried to keep away from it a little bit. All right, so dear devotees, the world goes on, and every day is a festival in Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat. So just a mini update from our location physically, but actually it's almost irrelevant in one sense, except it's a different ashram, and what is the environment in which the ashram is. We're in South Africa. We're near, so we were a group now. We were 8, we're now 6. It's okay. Yeah, the two are safe and sound. They're in Mauritius. They needed visas to come to South Africa, and somehow they didn't get through the paperwork. They said it was this thick. Said it was this thick paperwork. Anyhow, they didn't quite get through the paperwork. So they're staying on by the grace of the devotees in Mauritius. They're there in Mauritius in very good hands and with a wonderful environment. And we heard about Mauritius, an extra thing after coming to South Africa, and that is that apparently Srila Prabhupada said that 3 places on earth were giving us a hint about heaven, some understanding. One was Mauritius, one was Hawaii, and one was the Valley of Flowers in the Himalayas. And it may be in a purport somewhere, but this came up in conversation. And it is familiar. I think I read it in a purport, but I'm not sure. But that just gives a little hint. For those of you who live in Mauritius, Suyash Krishna Prabhu, and maybe others who hear, then what a wonderful opportunity you have for gentle material life and thriving spiritual life. So wherever we are, there's always, the talks about right there now, there's the elections, which may be even today or tomorrow. So always there's local talks about the good and the bad of every political party and leader and everything else under the sun. But when we've got such a certified environment of being like exceptionally suitable, exceptionally good in this material world, both materially and spiritually, when Srila Prabhupada is also quoted as saying, by everybody basically, quoted as saying that Mauritius can be the first Krishna conscious country in the world, then we can see there's so much on the plus side. So it's very good, not to get caught up in all the local talks and gossips about anything. And of course, when the elections are coming, then that's predominantly about politics, no doubt. But we've been given such a favorable opportunity just by having a human body on planet Earth. And then there's gradation, of course, of quality of life, quality of living, etc. But in a country where you don't need a room heater and you don't even need a fan, what to speak of an air conditioner, then when you live in an automatically air-conditioned country with Krishna consciousness all around you, everywhere Krishna consciousness. And by the way, how many policemen did we meet? How many policemen in our community who are devotees? I think at least 3. When we went meeting friends of Vinod Krishna Prabhu, and we're going to their homes, either policemen now or retired policemen. At least 3 were there. And another one's brother is a policeman of the sea, he said, Coast Guard. He's a Coast Guard. Anyway, just a little idea that wherever we are, we must see what we have and not get involved in anything about the mundane world, because that flow is everywhere. That's the nature of the mundane world, is the flow of mundanity. But the nature of good fortune is when we can connect with the up-carrying current, the flow of divinity. And Srila Gurudev used that example that at present the world, and we individuals in the world, we are caught in the current, the river, the current which is going down. It's going down, 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 due to karma, due to exploitation. Every one of us is, whether we think we are or not, by even the clothes we wear, the street we walk along, the food we eat, everything is exploitation. But there is another current, and that other current is the current which is the current which goes upwards. And that is the flow of the grace of the Lord, and especially the grace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who's come with a strong current to take us upwards. So the Maha Mantra and the Maha devotees through whom that mantra has come to us to the present day, we've got the opportunity to jump into that current, and we have the opportunity to stay in the current, which is flowing downwards. Sometimes we have that analogy of going along nicely in a canoe, and it's all very beautiful, all very wonderful around. The birds are singing, life couldn't be better, but little known to us, there's Niagara Falls just around the corner. And then before you know where you are, you can't do anything. You're over the edge of the falls. And Maheshwari knows about Niagara Falls. And we're in Africa. In Africa, It's in either Kenya or Tanzania. I think it's Tanzania, is the Victoria Falls. All right, dear devotees. This is mini. Oh, so that was Mauritius, and so Yashkashmu with us from Mauritius. Big welcome. And we're now in South Africa. Oh, yes, right. So we now come to South Africa. And we were saying it doesn't really matter where we are, but now we've got a little idea. It's good to know the pluses about where we are. And everywhere there's some plus, everywhere there's the material flow. Of course, that's inevitable. So we've come to South Africa, landed at the same airport that Srila Gurudev landed at, came out the same door, went through the same car park, and we had a very wonderful, non-stop, guru-centered journey all the way from the airport down, well, not down, I'm not too sure if we're down or up, but anyway, along to Lenasia South, a district. Well, you can say it's a satellite town, basically, of Johannesburg. And really, I told the devotees, we came in 3 cars because we had a little reception. The devotees very kind to meet us at the airport. We came in 3 cars or possibly 4 cars, I'm not sure, but at least 3 cars from the airport. And I said, actually, when we got here, it would have been so good if either we had radio connection between each car, or if we had a bus and like a tour guide, who has the tour bus and has a loudspeaker. And because Prema Sindhu, who's our chief host, they're all hosting us wonderfully, but our chief host, he gave like a continuous talk from the airport to the ashram. And it's around 50 minutes of Gurudev seeing that this, commenting that, and each time Gurudev came along this part of the road, and he came several times because they went to different places, he said he would always be anticipating and looking over the hill as we come over the hill at these gold mountains. They're not really mountains, but they're like hills, like gold hills. And anyway, he was showing us basically that we are seeing what Gurudev had seen. So in one sense, like honoring prasadam, the prasadam of rice, dal, sabji, then we have to think, how did the Lord taste that? And so driving down, we were seeing so many things, but it was like, how did Gurudev taste all these things? How did he see these things? And so embedded in their life about, Gurudev, so this did this and everything. And Prema Sindhu was so happy because he said, oh, now with you, you've all come. And so now I'm being reminded myself, of this and that Gurudev did. So, and Gurudev did lots of things here. Gurudev came to Mauritius 5 times, where we were just a couple of days ago. And he came here 5 times too. And so in those 5 times, everybody knows you can really plant the seeds, cultivate the seeds, and start the bhakti lata growing very strongly in the community of devotees. And we are in the temple. Now it's night. I can't show you anything very much except darkness, but I mean outside. But this is one of the temples where Gurudev miraculously with his walking stick manifested, first of all, from, this is what it will be. And then the devotees were the instruments to make it into what it will be. And the devotees made it into a very sweet ashram with buildings, with Gurudev's own room, which, by the way, they've given me as to use here. And I'm sleeping right beside Gurudev. And it's a while since well, no, because in Italy we sleep I sleep in the same room, but here somehow, if I turn the camera, if I can, they gave me a mattress on the floor. Now all the wires are getting disconnected. Hold on. So they gave me a mattress on the floor beside Gurudev's bed. So that way, when I woke up yesterday morning, which was the first morning, really I felt like I was, oh, here's Gurudev right beside me. And then that's a wonderful memory as well as an imagination now, in one sense. But it's a wonderful memory because we definitely have um, slept beside Gurudev, and we slept right there with Gurudev, either in the same room or right beside, for a long time. Anyway, so coming to South Africa again, it's not coming to South Africa; it's coming to the prasadam of Gurudev. And when we do go somewhere, Srila Gurudev has not actually put his, like, physically, if you like, his lotus feet there. Still, it's all Gurudev, Guru Maharaj, Mahaprabhu related. It's all when coming by their wish and feeling their presence. But this ashram, sorry about the sound, this ashram is brief history, if you like, because we are here, and Premasindra Prabhu, so we haven't even arrived at the ashram, and he drives around, and we're coming along. It's a suburban road, and he's not telling me, oh, the ashram is here. He said, oh, and Gurudev came down this road. We're driving around this area, and Gurudev wants to see. And so we were driving around, and then Gurudev, he just said, oh, stop there, pointing a little forward. Stop there, stop there. And Premasindra said, I had no idea why he wanted to stop. It's just, the side of the road. And he said it was all bush, bush, lions. It doesn't mean bushes, like in a nice thing, but bush with all the big, he said it was tall bush, like wasteland, or, not developed land. And he said, but Gurudev just said, stop there, stop the car, stop the car. I said, yes, stop the car. He said, pull on the side of the road. And then Gurudev just got out of the car with no explanation. And he walked. And then he walked over to this area. And then he looked around and he pointed to this place right here. I mean, he was just looking at the place. And then he said, you should purchase this. And Premasindra said it's completely out of the blue. He wasn't aware that we were driving around to look for an ashram or something. He said, not only that, we didn't have anything. We were very poor at that time. And anyway, Gurudev stopped the car. So you see, it's dangerous to take Gurudev for a drive in the car. You never know what will happen. And anyway, and then that was in the morning. And then Premasindra Prabhu, he said, so then we went to the place we were renting, the house or where we were renting, where they were staying. And then that very day, that was the morning, and then he asked Gurudev's permission, please excuse, I won't be here this afternoon. And he went to the land office and found out who owned it. And then within a day, they found, well, the person was very favorable, that area of land, and what was the plot, measurement, and all these things. The person who owned it was favorable and was happy to have some money for this wasteland. And the next day, they done the deal. They purchased the land. And then Gurudev came, and we need Premasindra. We need Premasindra to tell the whole story. But anyhow, somehow or another, because whether they cleared the bush, I'm not sure. Immediately, they must have done something. But they took Gurudev to the land, so they must have got a tractor or something and cleared it all. And then Premasindra took us to the very spot and showed us, Gurudev was here, and with his cane, he showed this and this and some design for what will be the ashram and how long is the ashram in comparison with the land. I mean, everything he showed. And Premasindra, he said he did all this with his cane. And we're just thinking this is like a dream for the future. But by this, Gurudev wasn't just dreaming. He was literally planting the seed for the ashram. And Premasindra Prabhu said, we had nothing. He said, not only that, he and his wife had, on the first visit of Gurudev, he and his wife, they left ISKCON because they'd heard about Guru Maharaj. They'd heard of Gurudev. They know that these great personalities have been here in the world. And when he heard that Gurudev had come, that time, I think, to Durban was the first place he came in Africa, by the invitation of Rishabdev. Yes, Rishabdev in South Africa. He passed away a few years ago. He was the first person. He had some means. He had some finance to, capacity to collect, to bring Gurudev. But it's a long way away. I think 600 kilometers away or something. And anyway, when Premasindhu and his wife heard that Gurudev had come, they left ISKCON and they said, we didn't have the money for the bus. We hitchhiked, auto stop. We hitchhiked to Durban and went and met Gurudev. And then, anyway, he gave the stories of how they were in Durban, and then Gurudev was asking about Nelson Mandela. And at that time, Nelson Mandela, he'd just been released from jail. Oh, he'd been released from jail. Anyway, I don't know if he's the president or the ex-president at that time. My history is terrible. And anyhow, he was not in jail. And Gurudev was hearing about Nelson Mandela it was asking about him. And he expressed things in Durban about Nelson Mandela and his sacrifice, his humility, his tolerance, his giving honor to others. I mean, Gurudev, he recognized the good qualities in people of the world. There is no doubt about it. And he gave that recognition, and he asked the Premasindhu Prabhu about, Nelson Mandela. Is it possible to meet Nelson Mandela? And so anyhow, all these things may be covering more than one visit. Maybe now we're talking about 2 different visits to South Africa, the first and second. It's possible. But anyhow, this is how Gurudev came to Johannesburg. And it wasn't on the itinerary. And they extended his visa. They could get an extension for 5 days. And Gurudev came to Johannesburg. And then that's when he came to this area, Soweto, I think is the name of the place where Nelson Mandela lived. And they were coming to meet Nelson Mandela. Somehow they got away to the Prime Minister's office, and this way they got an appointment to meet Nelson Mandela. And Gurudev was very happy, and he was all planning to meet him. But then actually it turned out not possible that day, and the government office called up at 6 a.m., Premasindhu was told, on the day that they had the appointment to meet him, and said that we need to postpone it by 2 days because of something which has come up. The Prime Minister's going somewhere else. So we need to postpone, but Nelson Mandela does want to meet with Srila Gurudev, Govinda Maharaj, like this, but Gurudev couldn't extend anymore. And so when Gurudev came to Soweto, which is nearby here, and then Premasindhu, he showed us Soweto, Gurudev came here, all these things. Then it's that time when Gurudev saw the land and gave instruction. And then the devotees, and this part we already knew because we know this next part from Gurudev himself, and a little bit about Nelson Mandela. But I didn't recall that they were so close to meeting him until I came here. And then this next part we've heard directly from Gurudev too, and Premasindhu Prabhu told us like the identical story, but from or pastime, but from the view of being here in South Africa and seeing it. And Gurudev coming back to Navadip, coming back to India, is telling us the story from his side, when as the devotees, as Gurudev is leaving from South Africa, then at that time, after he'd shown the land, and then they immediately got the land, and then shown how the oh, here the ashram will be like this, with the like the penniless devotees who'd hitchhiked to Durban. And he said at that time they were living on the just cheapest rice and cheapest dal. That's what they could survive with. They left ISKCON with nothing to come to Gurudev. And anyway, so we're just thinking it's in the future. But when Gurudev is leaving from South Africa, then the devotees, everyone's heartbroken always when he will go from somewhere. But when he's leaving, then the devotees say, Gurudev, please come back, please come back. And the Gurudev, at that time, he said to them, yes, I will come back. When there's an ashram, when the ashram is ready, I will come back. And that got the fire going amongst the devotees. And again, we need Prema Sindhu for the exact length of time. It was less than 1 year. It was less than 1 year. That from that nothing, this ashram that we're sitting in, and all these buildings, I'm pretty sure there are 1, 2, and 3, 4 joined together. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4 buildings. And in the daylight, I'm sure our photographer section, which I'm not really, oh, here's Priyanana, she's with us. She's probably got a documentary on what the ashram looks like. If not, I'm sure she'll prepare one and make one available. But it's a very beautiful place with the tall bamboo pole, 2 tall bamboo poles with 1 flag on each pole. And so they've got 2 tall bamboo poles. They've got the open area, and from outside, I've seen the photos before from outside. We've seen the photos. I was surprised inside how spacious everything is. It's one of these places you walk inside, it's like walking through a door, and then how can it be like this? But it is. And the temple room, it's like 2, I mean, it's purpose built, but if it was to be like domestic homes or something, it's like 2 houses joined together. The whole of the top floor is the temple room. So anyway, I'm sure you'll get to see some like nice presentation of the ashram. But again, you see, we're saying South Africa, but it's the miraculous seed planting spiritually, both of the ashrams and of bhakti all over the world that Srila Gurudev did. And this is our location. It's not like a country, but of course it's a country because that's where the ashram is. But we really, long ago, had no interest for travel as a sense of what do regular people do. In Mauritius, we saw the luxury places, the places which Mauritius is famous for, the picture postcard perfect places. We saw those places in Mauritius. But thinking just to come there, lie on the beach under a nicely thatched, shade, drinking martini. Oh, what is the value of that? I mean, nicely marketed, and a bit of nirvana for a couple of days, but insubstantial. And where did we see one of those places in Mauritius? Was at and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Siyash Krishna, that it was the Shiv Saga Mahadev temple that Gurudev went to in Mauritius. And beautiful temple, and everything very nice. And again, it's not just the temple, it's the people. Oh, so yes, Krishna Prabhu, thank you. He gave me a thumbs up. We got it right. Shiv Saga Mahadev temple. But the priests and just like the devotional attitude on the island and everything. And we had a beautiful place for Kirtan, Harikatha, and really pilgrimage place. But there where Gurudev sat, behind the temple to the right, you can see the luxury I don't know, you call it retreat or not. Well, the luxury hotel places, but tastefully done in the whether called mangrove swamps or something like that. I mean, the azure blue sea and all of the things you get in a picture postcard, everything is there. But where Gurudev was, where we've got some like devotional opportunity to discuss about devotion, Harikatha, that's much more luxurious than $1,000 a night suite or more. Some of them are more. I am surprised how much you can pay for one night, thinking that now you're getting, or now I'm in heaven. You can pay, if you got a couple of thousand, you can have probably a good night's sleep somewhere. Or you can sleep beside Gurudev on the floor. Hare Krishna. Okay, anyway, I only was starting the back to basics by explaining where we were. So we're in this ashram that manifests, and in India, well, obviously we were, then when the next tours were being arranged, Gurudev saying, and I will go to South Africa. I told them when they have an ashram, they made the ashram. And Gurudev was astonished, by the way. He was astonished. The devotees here were also astonished that they made the ashram. But Gurudev was astonished. We are on the India side. As I say, it's actually wonderful to hear what Gurudev has been telling us and then to hear it from the side of the victims, the side of those who've been receiving the grace. It's good to be a victim of grace. Okay, so this is my introduction to the back to basics this week. Hare Krishna. So we've been with the devotees, and the devotees say, but we don't say, that we brought the rain, because apparently it hadn't rained for, they said, 10 months. They had a really, everywhere in the world, by the way, they say global warming and the climate, everywhere people comment, we've never had these things before, this, that, and the other, everywhere. And here also, we've come to a very similar expression. But it has rained, and it's super and pleasant, and what can I say? Here we are. Okay, well, I have spoken enough. But okay, now, last Thursday, our Thursday, whatever day it was with you, but 3 days ago, the last back to basics, I wasn't able to attend because we had some duty, and very happy duty, suddenly in Mauritius. But afterwards, I heard from different people saying, oh, what a wonderful back to basics. And I want to hear it, because they told me that Kumkum Didi spoke very nicely, that our ever silent Leela Moy spoke very nicely, and maybe others. I'm not a perfect recorder in my mind of everything, but I think Seva Rupa was listed amongst the speakers as well. And anyway, the devotees I got from different quarters, I just, without me asking, oh, how was the back to basics? They're commenting. Oh, and in the back to basics this morning, like it came up some topics. So, I look forward to hearing that. And really, this is what we want. It doesn't take me. I'm the one who maybe should be just here starting devotees talking. But it's good that we can all share things in devotional life. We're all living. We feel things. We're having a life under the guidance of Guru and Gauranga. And so we need each other. And I have, how we do have our quotes of the current quotes or something. We keep on quoting the same thing day after day because it's so good. I've got a current quote also, if you like. Some of you know what it's going to be, but I have to reach. Okay, you can come with me. I'll turn you around. You're on a swivel chair, believe it or not. You're on a swivel chair and I'm on the floor. And don't worry, all you people who are expert about video and home video, don't worry about the lighting. I have no other way, no other way, no other way. But it's me. So let's see. This is beautiful short quote. And I just have to find it. 1 second. And it's from yesterday morning's class, perhaps. It's from Affectionate Guidance. And so Priyanana knows what it's going to be. Who else here knows? Seva Rupa David Dasi knows what it's going to be. And maybe somebody else. Not sure. But here we are. The quote is, so Jai Srila Gurudev, Ki Jai, and Jai Shri Affectionate Guidance, the book, Ki Jai. Okay, so we're talking about Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat. And by the way, Gurudev gave the name of the ashram. Here, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat, Johannesburg, or maybe Lenasia, I'm not sure. But he did give the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat name here too. So, sorry about the noise. I got a very out of balanced fan here. Okay, Gurudev speaking. Very short. This is 4 sentences perhaps. The good servitors of Srila Guru Maharaj are the wealth of Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat. The real wealth is the devotees, and I am trying to serve you all with whatever I have. This is Gurudev. The real wealth is the devotees, and I am trying to serve you all with whatever I have. I want your association, really. I am receiving transcendental food from you. When I see you, I think I have service. But to be alone is not good for anyone, even myself. Okay, I told you it was a short quote. Hare Krishna. I shall now remain silent and pass the microphone to Kumkum Devidasi and to all who may then, after Kumkum Devi, put up your hand and say, yes, I want to share something. Oh, there are 11 things in the chat. What has Seva Rupa been busy finding quotes? Oh, Priyanana. Oh, she's sending photographs. She's keeping, oh my goodness. Okay, well done, Priyanana. There you are. The first picture. Okay, Kumkum, in a moment. Sorry. Oh, by the way, a devotee sent me a private message that I forgot my tilak. I did. I forgot my tilak. I had a hot shower. But I was so quick to put on something warmer. It's true. I forgot my tilak. It happens. Sorry. You've just got me as I am, with no disguise. There you are. Okay, the first picture. But thanks, by the way, thanks for pointing that out. Otherwise, I'll be always without tilak throughout the day. Okay, so the first picture, Priyananda said, this is Prema Sindhu Prabhu. He's the host. And if you like it, I mean, I can give you an honest description of a pastime with Prema Sindhu that he won't have seen because he was part of the pastime. But everybody knows Srila Gurudev. Everyone knows Gurudev's smile. Everyone knows his affection. And here and there, you may see pictures of Gurudev hugging somebody or someone hugging Gurudev. I mean, he did. He was so affectionate. And every hug is a magic hug. But I can say, Prema Sindhu Prabhu was in much difficulty at one point in his life. He came, and when he was able to, as soon as he was able to, his first priority was to come to Gurudev, wherever he was. Gurudev was in Navadip. He came to India, to Navadip. And the hug that Gurudev gave him And he responded with a hug. That is like the hug of all hugs. The face of Gurudev, the face of Prema Sindhu, the two faces and the hug really stand out incredibly in my memory. And we've seen, I mean, every hug is perfect. Every devotee is going to say, oh, my hug was the best. But every mother thinks their mother is the best. But if you take an impartial view of all mothers, then we can say, anyway, if we've seen many hugs. Thankfully, we've seen many hugs beautifully, but impartially we can say the best hug of all hugs I've seen really was Prema Sindhu Prabhu and Gurudev. Wonderful, beautiful. Anyway, okay, so the first picture is Prema Sindhu. And then Prema Sindhu Prabhu, sorry. And then here we are, the next picture is with his wife, Mathura Basini, and a tall gentleman, you remember. He's our host in Thailand, and he's taking care of us everywhere. Paramananda Prabhu, always very caring. This is the temple room. The third picture is inside the temple room. So, resort. Oh, yes, resort rather than retreat. Yes, thanks, Maheshwari Didi. And Muktinath at the same moment had the same inspiration, not to retreat. Okay, anyway, here are some pictures. Oh, the other pictures underneath that, those are the pictures at the Shiv Saga Mahadev temple. And where you see Paramananda Prabhu sitting in the second picture is the exact place. This is the exact place where Gurudev sat. Oh, I'm sitting there too. And that's the resort over on the other side. You can't see it very well in the picture, but you can see it when you're there. And this is the temple. Nice, clean. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Ashram. Okay, Gurudev gave that. Sevarupa has given the quote. Oh my goodness, you've all been very busy in the back up there, very efficiently. Okay. Kom Didi. Maybe I'm going to listen. I'm going to go and put it on tilak, okay? This, but it's right. I've got the tilak right here and the mirror, so I'm hearing everything clearly.
Well, Mike Dandabat Maharaj, and I know I speak for everyone to say that what you've been giving is the actual relief. And it's so very encouraging to know that these things are so alive and well in so many different places like Mauritius and now South Africa. I'm having just a little bit of problem maneuvering. My mouse I think needs a new driver. But there is one very poignant point that Srila Guru Maharaj makes that's been so pertinent. You mentioned about elections there, and I hope they're nowhere nearly as contentious as they are here in the United States. And I'm really grateful that one of the first things that I heard from Srila Prabhupada, because he spoke back in the 60s and 70s in the United States, and it was terribly contentious then. There was a lot of talk of a potential civil war, and it seemed very real to so many people. And so a nice devotee named Jayadwaita Prabhu, who is now a very loyal sannyasi, he asked Srila Prabhupada, whose side are we on? When you see the two different sides there's so much against each other. And Prabhupada said, they are on the same side. They are on the side of sense gratification, and we are on the side of bhakti. And I'm so grateful that I heard that, because it resolves everything. These things will always be going on in this world. And then we hear Srila Guru Maharaj, when he was asked about a potential World War III, which of course would definitely impact any devotee who's trying to do their service if bombs are falling. But Srila Guru Maharaj's famous response is a point on a line in a solid in a plane. I believe I got that right. And his point is that just like the beginning of Bhagavad Gita in the second chapter, talking about the difference in those things which are permanent and those things which are temporary, and which do we belong to, and whether we realize it or not, we actually belong to the world of permanence, that which endures beyond whatever these changes are in this world. They can be so massive. I can't see you all, but it's our great fortune that it's presented to us like this, and that we have a connection with people who actually know this to be true. It says the seers of the truth see like this, and so not disturbed. And Srila Guru Maharaj, of course, like all of our gurus, are always giving us the necessity to go on acting toward that permanent benefit that we have, and that's why their instructions are. Are you back now, Maharaj?
I am. I was just checking if my tilak was straight or not. You know, Srila Saraswati Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, I heard that he didn't use a mirror to put on tilak. I see the face. And in Navadip, for some time, I wasn't using a mirror to put on tilak. And in Navadip, there are no mirrors. It's not like one of the things when I came to the West after a while was that there are mirrors everywhere. You keep on seeing yourself, which is kind of shocking. But in Navadip, there are no mirrors in the back. If you want to, when you use a mirror, you have a tiny little mirror and you put it on your tilak. But then when I did see myself in a mirror, when I wasn't using a mirror to put on tilak, I thought, okay, I should use a mirror to put on tilak, because it wasn't so straight. Okay, devotee. It's my tilak, okay. Yes, so, but that's the sideline. Kumkumdiri, very important. And somehow or another, when we came to South Africa, they've also just had elections. And so it came up along the way. And I know zero about any of these elections. But you see, it is a topic of the world. And for us to know, to understand, Srila Prabhupada's answer, they're all on the same side, the side of sense gratification. Yeah. Very sobering, not to be involved in anything like that. Hare Krishna. And you'd be surprised how wonderful the world is without politics and with devotees. Okay, without politics and with devotees. That's the whole. And that quote of Gurudev we had, by the way, again, is that, and I see Seva Rupa Devarasi very efficiently. She's put the quote of Srila Gurudev I read here too. That quote is just like showing us the wealth of the mat, the good servitors of Srila Guru Maharaj, the wealth of Sri Chaitanya Saraswati. When we can be with the devotees and not with the newspapers and gossip and all those things, then life is sweet. Guru Maharaj in the beginning of Search for Sri Krishna says, we will prove that this world is a place of what's the quote? Sevarupa, what's the quote? Srila Guru Maharaj says at the very beginning, it's either the first chapter or the introduction. We will prove that the world is a place of perfect happiness, something like that. It's all about consciousness, how we behave. Why are we being told to behave in a certain way? We're being told that for our benefit. Yes, Kum Devirasi. What have you seen Krishna do this week?
Say again?
What have you seen Krishna do this week?
Provide us with the perspective of actual reality, which can be before us, and reality, the beautiful. This comes through our ears from the Vaishnava saints. And that can be the reality that we see, that's prominent. And the other one, we don't have to choose that as our reality. It's so full of disappointment and misery and momentary blips of hope, which are then dashed. And we don't have to see that as reality. We can continue hearing about Krishna consciousness all over the world. So this planet is actually going to be all right, as long as we have this vehicle for hearing about a real home. Seems that's how Krishna has been saving us.
Hare Krishna. And Krishna is saving us, keeping us in contact with each other, keeping us in association along the long journey home. Many things. Hare Krishna. Yes, Leelamoy Prabhu. Yes, Jai Gauranga Prabhu. Govinda Farm. Oh, and this week, talking about long bamboo poles, this week I saw, wasn't it just yesterday itself? Oh, don't know what's happening with the electricity. Okay, a little bit like India in some ways. This week itself, then a very long bamboo pole with a flag on the top was raised at the temple site, what will be the temple site, the new temple in it's actually Mae Rim is the area, Chiang Mai is the airport, in Thailand, Govinda Farm. So maybe a few words from Govinda Farm, as we hear. You all talked so well last week, and this week I somehow been very bad and I've been talking a long time. But please, a few words from Govinda Farm, the spokesmen there. 2 of you are present at least.
Hare Krishna. So, yes, historical day yesterday. We did this pole. We installed this pole in the ground with the big flag. I'm trying to look in the chat. Everyone in the meeting. Okay, chat. The pole with the flag. Yeah, it was beautiful that the start of something new, that I am here being part of this team. This is really honor for me that they accept me, and I'm trying to do my best here to serve the other devotees. And yeah, this is a new project, and I'm here surrounded by great devotees. Kesh is here, Krishna Priya, Ram Sundar, Jai Gauranga, Tradish also. They are so inspiring devotees that I can try to follow their path. And in our last BBBC, Jagoranga read a beautiful part about in a review through about the Maha Mantra, and we are continuing this lecture in the review through the power of the Maha Mantra. If we sing once properly, it can vanquish all our sins of our karmas. But the point is, can we sing properly the Maha Mantra? That's the question. Then we're trying to keep going always and always, trying to always remember Trinada Pisunichana, Tarorivasahishuna, Manina Manadana Kirtana Sadahari. And we keep going always chanting and being happy. Jai.
Jai. Jai Gauranga. Yes. Prabhu. Gauranga Prabhu. Oh, and another thing, Mauritius, they, in the time of Gurudev, and now too, they tend to call people Prabhu Jai Gauranga. And Gurudev liked that etiquette. He said, oh, this is very good, because first we have the impression of a Prabhu, someone worshipable, senior, like worshipable, Prabhu, and then the person's name. But still, Gurudev said, I like this, but still Gurudev called everybody like Jai Gauranga Prabhu. But it's just a comment. So, Prabhu, Jai Gauranga Prabhu. Yes. Are you ready to say a few words? And are you near enough to the microphone for us to hear those words?
Yes, Raj, I can put something together. First, my dandavats, Maharaj dandavats to the devotees. To mirror what Leela Moy Prabhu said, yesterday was a very historical day. We installed the flag here on the hill where the temple will be, and then we chanted the Mot Pranam Mantra, Shri Mach Chaitanya Saraswati Matabara Udgiti Kirti Jayashrim, which is very nice remembrance of Navadip and of the victory flag of Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Mott flying, and we are taking shelter underneath that flag and underneath the shelter of the feet of our divine masters. And I also feel like Leela Moy Prabhu, I feel very honored and very privileged to be here with Leela Moy Prabhu, Ram Sundar Prabhu, Krishna Priya Didi, and serving alongside them under their guidance, and that they're accepting me with all my faults, all my bad habits, but they're very mercifully, very kindly adjusting me and helping me to be a better servitor. Yeah, I feel very, very honored and very privileged.
Jai, from the heart. Very beautiful. And here, by the way, I saw a moment ago, still at this same moment, Sevarupa Devirasi and Priyanana Devirasi side by side in South Africa. Now there's quite a historical picture because Zoom is Zoom, and we really do know the devotees. It's not impersonal. We find Zoom to be very remarkable opportunity. And when we meet devotees in person, which we haven't met in person before, but we know from Zoom, it's not like, I'm meeting someone for the first time at all. Anyway, Priyanana and Sevarupa have met before in Thailand, almost certainly at the previous, last year's festival there. But here they are together in South Africa. And so they did turn on their camera. I think it's an indication they're both going to inundate us with some Hari Katha with the microphone on.
And morning obeisances, or evening or afternoon. It's, yes, what is the word? Chamatkara? Mm-hmm. Yes, to have all the devotees, Maharaj, here in his physical form, not online. And I know it feels like how I feel when we viewing the devotees and Maharaj on pilgrimage and waiting for every moment to see what are the devotees doing, what's happening, to receive some harikatha and some nectar. And I feel that way, like across the globe, that everyone's waiting to see where are we, what are we, how are we spending our time. But I'm still trying to, it hasn't hit home yet that actually, it's like a dream still.
Yes. Yes, actually, I'm very grateful, Maharaj, that we have such opportunity to go on this tour, because it's really great to see how the devotees live life in different ashrams, and to get not only inspiration from them, but to see like maybe some ways that you can improve your life and your mood. And yes, it's nice to meet in person. And about Prema Sindhu, Prema Sindhu Prabhu, yes, Sindhu means an ocean, but he seems to be an ocean of the stories of Srila Gurudev. And as you said, like his every breath, or like he's full of these stories. Really, it's great just to be around him and Mathura Vasini Didi, and like they're of the same caliber. And yes, And also, when we've been to Mauritius, it's great to see the association and how everything, like people, devotees do everything together. They're organized, and the mood also. Yeah, and it's just great to go around the globe and like to meet the devotees, and I don't know, like such. And as you said, it's not a journey; it's pilgrimage actually. So very grateful. And yes, as we walked in the Govinda Dham, where you stay now, and you mentioned to Dharan Prabhu that, or he mentioned to you, like it feels the same like in East London, Gurudev room, or like the same feeling of presence.
So Govinda Dham, that Priyananda is referring to, is the name. It's another place also, but Govinda Dham is the name of Srila Gurudev's house here, where he has his darshan area downstairs and his room, where we are very privileged to be right now, upstairs. This is what they call Govinda Dham. And then, I don't know what the names of the other houses are, the temple house. And the temple room there also is very full of Gurudev's presence. Yes, Udaran Prabhu, he appreciates, we all appreciate, but he specifically appreciates the East London temple, the temple in East London, which I think the whole world knows is tiny, but it's very intense with Gurudev. It's very intense with eagerness of the devotees to have his darshan, to see him, to get a glimpse of him in this small area. So the downstairs, upstairs, every corner of the East London temple is very intense with Gurudev. And when we came into this building, into Govinda Dham, I felt the air is thick, like we're walking into a thick air of Gurudev. His mood, what's happened here, it was just walk, it wasn't like air, it was thick air of Gurudev. And this is like that East London temple. And Udaran Prabhu with his sweet antenna, he has this, really like an antenna to feel places. And he's so happy, so pleased to be here. And he said, oh, please, give me access. And I told him, yes, the door's always open. Come in, be in Gurudev's room, be in the darshan area, chant japa, read, be at home. Gurudev will want us like that. And we got 3 places here in particular. The temple room, very Gurudev full. Gurudev full. Not sure about that word. This room, very Gurudev full. The darshan area downstairs, very beautiful. And by the way, Prema Sindhu, we're saying, yes, he's telling about Gurudev, this, that, and the other. But he's telling also all about the devotees, and he's bringing back memories of devotees, which we have them in our memory, but not in the front of our memory. So many good devotees and so many who have passed away. In fact, whether most of the key devotees, they have passed away. The ones who brought Gurudev, who did so much here in South Africa. So, but then Gurudev is showing, Prema Sindhu is showing where the devotees are sitting, what they're discussing, and interesting topic sometimes. But it's not just Gurudev alone; it's always Krishna is with his associates, Gurudev is with his associates, and anyway, lots of sadhu sangha, past, present, and future. And the sadhus live on, and they are also seeing us. We hope they see the good parts only. That's the good thing about the devotees. They only see the good parts. So we have hope. Oh, dear. Okay, well, time goes on. Sri Lanka Devirasi. I know America has this, summer saving time and winter devouring time or whatever it is. It seems so primitive in the world. Europe still has it, but the advanced countries like Russia, Brazil, and South Africa, Mauritius, they don't have it. They have electricity. They don't need to have daylight savings. But when electricity reaches these remote corners, I'm sure They'll get over it. I'm afraid, Sri Lanka, you joined us right at the end of our back to basics. Your
Oh,
clocks.
I forgot, Maharaj. Thank you for reminding me. Next time I will join on time. I'm sorry.
And
I'm very sorry.
no, we are sorry, but because of this changing of clocks in different days, different countries, like especially America, that I noticed, most of the world changes on one day, and America changes on another day. You know, this idea of independence is very wonderful. Independent. Anyway, they said because of all the confusion with the clocks changing, just a reminder, we did set that instead of being fixed in California, where actually this first began. So America is where the back to basics online first was inspired to come through Govinda Nandini Didi, and she set everything up very nicely. But then we set it now, so it's always 9:30 a.m. Navadip time. And that helps us remember Navadip also. So Navadip, they also have, sometimes they also have electricity in Navadip. They don't have daylight savings time. They know when they can turn the electricity on the lights on when it gets dark. And at least Navadip have candles. So, okay, dear devotees, we have to conclude here because our day is continuing, and we better do our duties this side of the world also. And we'll meet again soon, and we will be with you from South Africa, but not, as we said, not South Africa. From the devotees and the ashram here in South Africa, we'll be with you for the next 2 back to basics anyhow. And we look forward to connecting the dots and continuing the journey of devotional life. And let us continue that with each other's assistance. So super seeing you all with us. Anna, Hare Krishna, good to see you. And Jason, we're just finishing. Clocks changed in Europe, in America, different places, but we're fixed on Navadip time, 9:30 a.m. So we're just finishing. We've been together for the last hour or so. And to all of you who joined a little later, good to have you with us. Nityananda Ram Prabhu is here with us. Nityananda Ram Prabhu in India or in Colombia? Colombia. Let us hear your voice.
Dandava
Colombia.
Pranam Maharaj. Well, right
Dandava.
now in Colombia, coming back to India very soon, finish some deals here to start the program of Trimurti and in Mayapur. Our idea with Krishna Jayanti is to start to distribute the books of guardians to the thousands of pilgrims coming to devotees coming from all around the world. So for this Gaura Purnima, we will start to distribute the different books, but especially, our desire is to distribute the Sri Premadam Devastotram. Our desire is to see all the devotees chanting the Premadama Devastotram for Gaura Purnima in Mayapur. As you know, there is 1,000 of devotees coming and many nice Kirtaniya singers, but nobody knows the glories of Sri Premadama Devastotram.
Beautiful, Prabhu. And that's why
maybe you can help me with that, Maharaj, because I need to print them in Calcutta. Maybe you can later send me the information how I can print some thousands of books in Calcutta.
Okay, Prabhu, we'll have to be in touch separately about that. And remember, my news about printing and everything else is very old news by now. And we don't know. Okay, Prabhu, we can contact about that later. But it's very good that you're going to distribute books there. Srila Prabhupada wanted Mayapur to be attractive so people will come, get books, learn, understand what is the bright future. And by the way, thank you again for pointing out to me from another devotee pointing out, it's 7:30 a.m. India time, not India time, Navadip time. I said 9:30 just before. It's based on 7:30 a.m. Navadip time. And I double check it, but I did check one.
Maharaj, I will
Yes, 7:30.
I would like
Nabin.
to I would like to invite all the devotees to Mayapur Dham, Navadvip Dham for parikrama anytime. Anything anybody need there to go to do parikrama in Mayapur, Navadvip, all the area. Well, we'll be very happy to have the association of the Vaishnavas or the devotees there. Maybe for Gora Purnima, someone wants to come, please contact to me. I can help them to make some arrangements anywhere for the
Okay,
parikrama
wonderful.
time or whatever they want to visit the holy dam.
Jai. Okay, Prabhu, wonderful. We are
Thank
all
you very
hearing.
much, man.
Good to know there is such a shelter there. It is. Jai. All right. So please everybody have a successful, every day is a festival, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat life until we meet again, and after that, in fact, forever, everyone have a Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat mood life, which means the guidance of Gurudev and Guru Maharaj, shelter of Gurudev and Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada. Here we are together on our journey home, chanting Hare Krishna and chanting Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Srila Gurudev ki jai, Srila Guru Maharaj ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, all of our guardians ki jai, and Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai, and Sri Chaitanya Saraswat, Acharya Brinda of the present day ki jai. To all of the assembled devotees ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol. Wonderful to be.
Jai Shri Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj ki jai.
Bye.
Govinda, Govinda, Dandavat, dear ones, see you soon. Stay safe. Chant Hare Krishna. Be happy. Govinda, Govinda.
Bye.